Good morning and welcome to Savannah Community Headlines Live, better known as the virtual water cooler show. We started hanging around here at the beginning of the pandemic on most Monday mornings, and today's water cooler topic is this business of art. But before we get started, we want to thank our streaming partners and thank Catalina for setting this up. We've got, let's thank the Isle of Hope News. Let's see. Here we go. The Isle of Hope. Come on. There we go.
Isle of Hope News.
There we go. And Catalina.
The Metropolitan Savannah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely. And the Coastal Buzz. So we're really excited to have them as streaming partners. We are now we've got thousands of people on combined with all of us. So
who would have thought a year ago in it's been a year, just almost, right?
Yeah, almost it's been almost a year.
That when we decided, since we couldn't go to Rotary and we couldn't go to Chamber and we couldn't do all those things, we're like, let's get online and just talk to people and see what happens. That we would have multiple streaming partners now and thousands of viewers.
It's really been fun, but it's been a safe thing to do.
Like today, we've got artists, we've got business folks, we've had people from around the world. It's pretty cool.
It really is cool. I just love the concept of a virtual water cooler until we get back together. So,
although I did have to explain to my 18-year-old what the water cooler meant and how it all came to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like water cooler. I'm like, there's a thing in an office back in the day.
Absolutely. Hey, good morning, Chris. Thank you so much for streaming this on the Coastal Buzz. Good morning. Good morning. So let's jump down here. Let's get some headlines first, and then we will bring on our artists, because today's edition is all about this business of art. And let's first start here with
I love this dog. If I could have another animal, I would go get this dog. This is Sammy.
And it's a she.
It's a she. She's an English pointer. She's a puppy, and she's just learning like leash training and a couple other things. So but this dog gets along with everybody so far. She's very, very playful. She's learning the leash well, loves her toys, cutest dog ever.
I know. And if you are interested in adopting Sammy, you can go to Coastal Pet Rescue, get in touch with Lisa Scarborough or any of her volunteers over there. They'd be happy to help you with that adoption. So, okay, hold on a second. Our next announcement is SCORE needs business mentors. This is National Mentorship Month in January. And if you are a business owner and would like to share your expertise and help small business owners, they're looking for you. Catalina, I think you're going through that process right now.
Yeah, right. It's actually, a lot of people think, oh God, I don't have time for that. You really, it takes as much time as you're willing to give. So I signed up to be, I've worked through you really, met the SCORE people and done a lot of work with them, signed up to be a mentor, and have to take an hour-long sort of orientation and some informational type classes that are very short. And then it provides, you set up a profile, you're paired with people, you can do a little or a lot, as much or as little as you want on your own time frame. In your own time frame. And so, it's really something I think that's valuable. I firmly believe that a mentor is the key to success. I think there's some statistics or some data on that. But yeah, it's not a daunting process at all. And it really is, it's a lot of fun. And the people there are fun. They're cool. They're like cool to, work the brain a little bit by having some really good conversations about business.
I believe there's about 40 some mentors in the Savannah area, and I believe over the bridge in South Carolina, they also have about that many mentors. So if you're a small business owner watching, know that you can pick up the phone or email and get free mentoring advice in any aspect of business.
And the
So
other thing is if for example, you have something that you would like, if you want to use SCORE as a resource and you have a question or you have something that you're interested in doing and your local pool of mentors can't assist you, SCORE is part of a national network. And so if they don't have that mentor, say here in Savannah or maybe across the bridge in South Carolina, because they're a part of this national network, you can tap into people from all over the country, all over the place. So it really is a great, I mean, I can't imagine. The best thing in business that you could do, in my opinion, is go and tap into SCORE.
yeah, you can get very industry specific information.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to figure out what kind of insurance you need with whatever business you're in, you can find somebody who has been in that industry for years, and they will give you free advice. So
and they have a fantastic a fantastic nonprofit toolbox as well. I mean, it's not just small business and for-profit business. They have a lot of, if you're in a nonprofit, get in touch with SCORE.
absolutely. So whoops. Hold on, we got another
enough of a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
We've got another announcement that Enmarket has opened a new Pooler store, and it will bring 30 jobs. So isn't that a cool photograph? I love these drone photographs of Enmarket.
They have really upped their game. I mean, not that their game ever needed upping, but they have really upped their game. And a lot of these, I mean, yes.
Wonderful
I mean,
coffee too.
The new stores, they're fantastic. They're not just like, I mean, sometimes, you go into a gas station and they have a little store and you're like, eh. These are nice. And they're like, it's like, go have lunch there. That kind of I mean, they're really very, very nice. I'm just so impressed by what they've done.
And good fresh food too, healthy food. So that's a double plus.
Especially when you have, your gas stations sometimes are the only nearby grocery store for a lot of our areas. So the fact that they're offering healthy options is great.
So today's show came about when we had Honor Lynn, I guess back in November or December on the show. And she is, she's a local artist and from Savannah. She's also up in Atlanta a lot, but she is putting together a company that will help artists navigate this business world. I know when I was young growing up, my mother was an illustrator and she was an artist in the Washington, D.C. area. And I kept saying, when I grow up, Mom, I want to represent you, because I saw it once, I saw it a million times. People wouldn't pay her, and it made me mad. And so we ended up, I got married, we moved to Italy. I studied art there, bought a lot of art. And then we came back and moved to Augusta, Georgia. And I set up my first company right after I graduated college and got back from Europe. And I was an art dealer. And I sold my mother's artwork and she got paid. And it was so wonderful. But I didn't do it very long because my mom ended up literally dropping dead at 54. So I closed the business down, but I can tell you that this business of art has always been really, really important to me. And this show is dedicated today to sharing tips on how to help the artists. So we've got 3 artists coming on this morning that we're gonna meet them and we're gonna see what kind of tips they can share with us. And I know Haley's got to get to work, so we'll make sure she gets there on time. So let me pull everybody on here. Hold on. Okay, we've got Stephen coming on, we got Honor coming on, and we've got Haley. Good morning, guys.
In the background.
Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing about your art this morning. I want to go around. Stephen and I made the connection because of your friend Denise, who I met in Spain when I was walking the Camino de Santiago. And so I met Stephen that way. Honor, well, I've known Honor. Kat and I have known Honor for a long time. Of course, she's huge in the art world here and in Atlanta. And Haley, how did we meet again? I can't Was it through your dad?
I think so. And I apologize. I am getting a little bit of a stutter right now. I think it will pass in just a moment. But yeah, I think it was mainly through my dad. You know, he's
Mhm.
super active in a bunch of different things in the community and everything. And yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you through him and
Yeah.
become really good friends.
So Haley graduated from SCAD, and you. What was the path that you took? Did you start your own business? Did you? What was that like? I mean, and what tips can you share? And I'm going to pull on one of Haley's paintings here. Hold on a second. Well, let me find it. There we go. This is one of Haley's paintings. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is this one called, Haley?
Oh, this is a piece I did a while back. This is an example of some of my more abstract work. It's titled Winter Beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixture of acrylic and oil. And yeah, after I graduated SCAD, at the time I was working at a gallery downtown. And that enabled me to get really involved in the community, and it gave me the opportunity to meet a lot of other local artists and just create really close ties with other creators in Savannah. And excuse me. And I was very thankful for that. And one thing I would definitely say has helped me a lot is just being really active in the community. I've had art shows. I've attended my friends' art shows. I've gotten really great job opportunities from my artist friends. And it's really, really important, I think, especially in Savannah. It's such a tight knit creative community to just be out there and just be active and make friends.
So, Haley, I know you do a lot of commissions. I mean, that's pretty brave to do that. I mean, how do you set that up? How does all that come about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, you know, social media is great. That's a really, really great outlet that we're happy, or that we're lucky to have today. But also, it's really you can't really beat word of mouth when
Yeah.
it comes to a lot of stuff. When I first got started doing, you know, freelance commissions, I did a lot of gifts for you know, some great, like, you know, friends of mine. And sometimes you just kind of have to get your work out there like as best you can.
Yeah.
I did a painting for a friend of mine who entertains a lot. She does book clubs, she does dinner parties like constantly. And I, you know, got some pieces out, and, you know, a lot of good pieces, and, you know, text me, and then they would tell a friend, they would tell a friend. And
No, it is word of mouth, definitely word of mouth. Honor and Stephen, have you all met Haley? Have you ever seen her artwork?
No, but I sure did love that piece you showed, and I'm curious how you can mix oil and acrylic. I was always told that you can't do that.
yeah. I guess, you know, a lot of you know, mediums, you know, kind of making the I do like an impasto style with the acrylic, and, you know, add some mediums in there to kind of pair well with the oil. A lot of science behind it.
Yeah, that's cool. Stephen, what kind of medium do you use? Do you use you use gouache, I think.
That's correct. Pretty much exclusively I use gouache, and I use 2 coats of gouache on dry paper, so they look like acrylics or silk screens, but they're actually watercolors. And I guess all of us are now dinosaurs because we actually do something with our hands, with a brush, and you know.
Absolutely.
You know, when I was in art school in the 70s, and I first found out about photorealism, and there was this kind of notion that, you know, painters using photographs is cheating. Well, it turns out that literally as long as photographs have existed, painters have been using them. And now, you know, 45 years later, full circle, I'm the dinosaur because I'm doing it by hand instead of, you know, with a mouse. So it's interesting.
Absolutely. So, Stephen, what kind of art are you known for? I'm going to put up one of your pictures you sent me. So,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm mostly landscapes, architecture, florals. Although just last night, I showed Lori, my sweetheart, a photograph of a floral of an orchid. It was beautiful. And I said, I think I'm going to paint this. And she said, why?
because you're an artist.
Well, but she likes the architecture. Architecture seems to be a pretty good niche for me.
Yeah.
I joke that I can do anything except blendy sunsets, facial detail, and animals. Just about anything else, and clouds and all that. You know, art for the anal retentive, I think would be the hook.
Well, I loved your marketing ideas with taking these pieces that you've done and turning them into calendars and puzzles. I mean, that seems to help with getting your art out there. Because I know I have your calendar here.
It helps a lot. I started the calendars 15 years ago, and part of the motivation there was to get somebody to buy something every year, you know, because, you know, the sales term of an itch cycle doesn't really apply to art. If I sell you a refrigerator in 7 years, I can call you and say, hey, Marjorie, it might be time to replace that refrigerator. Well, in my case, fortunately, most of the paintings I've sold over the last 30 or 40 years, the same people have them in the same spot on their wall. And you know, at a certain point, they're not inclined to buy new stuff. So I took that on. That's the good news about calendars. The real horrible news about calendars is if you've got calendars at the end of January, they're worthless. So that's a tricky thing. That's one of the things I like about the jigsaw puzzles is that they don't expire, so to speak.
So, Stephen, what has been the best way for you to market your artwork? I mean, is there a certain platform that you use? Is it also like word of mouth that Haley was talking about? Well,
you know, I've said it already a couple times. I have been doing this for 45 years, and a lot has changed. So back in the day, in 1976, I started printing postcards of my work, and that was really good. And I even remember the 30 labels per sheet that you put in the Xerox machine, and you hope it lines up right, you know, so you don't miss the zip code. And so I did that for years. And then, of course, you know, the computer has made all that data management a whole lot easier. Before I got married in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and early 90s, I used to do a lot of Tupperware shows. People would host a party for me. And
with art?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a really good
idea.
The key is you want to, and of course, everything's changed now with COVID, but, you know, looking to the future, the key is you want to make it low stress. You want to make it just meet the artist, have some fun, you know. And in my case, it's always been helpful to meet folks. You know, I'm not weird. My artwork is approachable. You don't need therapy before or after you look at my artwork. And, so that worked out really well for many years. And then here we come online. And the first time I ever saw Facebook and I saw that you could have that little tiny picture, I went, oh boy, this is going to be great. And Facebook has been kind of magical for me. You know, I have a lot of people sharing them and expressing goodwill and, you know,
word of mouth.
Digital
word of mouth.
We say word of mouth, but I guess we should have the word image in there because it's more about, you know, one advantage I've always said is I can show somebody what I do in less than 5 seconds. And you can tell whether they're interested or not. You know, I don't know about y'all, but the word I don't want to hear is interesting. No thanks. Don't want to hear it. You know, that's the artistic view of bless his heart. You know, it's like, so for me, you know, Facebook, I'm learning Instagram. LinkedIn's not for me really.
Yeah, mostly business to business, but
yeah. Now, of course, the flip side is, and I don't know how y'all deal with this, is I think you have to be careful not to post too high res a photo, because then somebody can just take it and do it. I personally don't like watermark. I find them very distracting. So my solution is everything on my website is only 420 pixels. So if you try and blow it up, you're going to be very discouraged very quick.
That's another great tip, Stephen.
That is a great tip. That is really
yeah, you know, it's unfortunate too, because we have such high resolution screens that you could really present a dynamite image that would look fabulous, but then it's one click away from gone. And
can you tell, Stephen, how many people try and download artwork?
I haven't looked into that. I've kind of avoided that with the 420 pixels. And I believe there are ways you can make it so you can't copy. I'm a real Luddite on all of that stuff.
Okay.
You know, and just for one more tagline, apropos of the earlier conversation, I have described myself as a recovering nonprofit. So still in recovery.
I might have to steal that.
Please do. Please do. Please do.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, you know, art is such a weird business because, I mean, how many times have you heard, well, I can't pay you, but it'll be great exposure?
I heard that growing up, and it made me so mad that I became an agent for my mother, actually. Yeah.
You know, and everybody just assumes that about art. Now, the flip side is, I don't think the world owes us a living either. So I don't think that the typical artist is going to say, oh, I'm brilliant, and the world doesn't recognize it. No, I don't buy that either. So, and one more thing, and then I'll shut up for a little bit. Like I said before, I've tried a lot of things. I know several things that do work. I know a lot of things that don't work.
Oh, yeah. Talk to us about those, Stephen.
Well, on a small scale, you know, this T-shirt, right? So yeah. T-shirts work great, except they're available in so many different sizes and styles. So that makes it tricky. You know, the first batch I did, I silk screened, so I had to order 12 dozen and guess what sizes are going to sell. And gee, what a surprise. A few years later, I've got a lot of smalls and I got a lot of 2XLs, and everything else, you know, sold out. Also, T-shirts fade, which kind of bugs me because I'm, you know.
It's art. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm very excited about the puzzles. I'm really excited about the puzzles. The first puzzle I did was a painting I did in 1979 with the intent of making it into a jigsaw puzzle. So to get to realize that decades later was great.
That's really cool. Well, thank you for sharing those tips.
I should be an ad for that T-shirt where it doesn't wash well, right?
Yeah.
You look like a eunuch, which sounds amazingly like eunuch, but we're not going to talk about that now. Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. They're great tips. Honor, how about you? What kind of art tips for other artists do you have?
She has my favorite painting in the background. My favorite piece of hers in the background.
Let me pull up one of hers right here. Hold on a second.
You probably have this one. I mean,
is.
Oh, there's another one. Yep.
Yeah. Tell us about this one.
This one, it's interesting. I'm an experimental artist. There's everything from gouache to chalk to pen and ink to all sorts of different, it's called mixed media collage. And really what this is, I started out as a photographer, and I did this series called The Maiden's Journey, where I spotlighted some of my favorite heroines of literature, whether it was Lady of the Lake or Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz or Ophelia, depending on which literature or artwork I wanted to portray, I used the lens as my voice to capture those moments. I have, like, this is my Lady of the Lake. I don't know if you can see her.
Hold on, let me make it big. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Lady of the Lake. And she's a little, and I turned them, a friend of mine actually made them into gifts and coasters. But for me, so that's another merchandising tip you can do for your artwork. But to answer your question about the illustration behind me and that particular picture, I'm really fascinated by the symbolism of trees and how the archetype of trees really portrays in every culture, society, religion, and how it's representative of our roots and how we're connected and how we grow. So I had a lot of what I call practice prints of my maidens. And so I did this fairy tales, myths, and legends series that really devoted towards that mixed media that you showed before. So into the woods we go, right? For our epiphanous moments. And sometimes we return to nature to find oneself. So I took the canvas as a way to embody everything that I just described, to become more of a narrative voice, because after all, as artists, I believe it is our responsibility to be that voice, and oftentimes to transcend diversity and culture and awareness. Barriers come into play through our language system. So what better way to preserve the stories we're trying to tell than through the lens and the canvas as our story narrative? So that's kind of an explanation of the artwork that I tried to produce.
That's beautiful. I just love Catalina was behind the scenes going, I love how our brain works.
I do. I've known Allison since before my oldest daughter was born. We used to work together at the symphony, and I would bring my daughter, and we made a playpen out of 2 chairs pushed together. That's how long I've known her. So no, she's an amazing brain at work.
So I love the concept of your new nonprofit, Honor.
Oh, thanks.
Helping artists understand this business of art. And I've seen it firsthand with my mother, that it is something that they don't teach in art school. They don't teach about accounting. They don't teach about marketing. They teach these wonderful techniques of how to create your art, but it stops there. So kudos to you for doing that. Can you tell me about the inspiration of how that came about for you, Honor?
Well, it's funny. It actually started, I got my first degree in communication arts and my second degree in post-bac in studio art, because I wanted to explore the creative arts. And I knew I wanted to do more with, back then, my marketing consultant company. But as I got more into it, I realized there's a gap between university and application for artists. Artists are really good at creating and exploring and using their art media as a vehicle of expression, but they don't necessarily get into the marketability of that. And so I noticed there was a need back then. Obviously, with COVID, a lot of artists who were either contracted from designers to stage production, part of crews, and art is not just the canvas, it's singing, it's dancing, it's theater, it's music. And so out of response to that, I wanted to create a nonprofit that helped generate avenues of possibilities for them to create revenue resources for themselves. So I put on my marketing hat, and as Catalina said, we did so much with the symphony in Savannah, and it was through that era that we really learned how community and collaborations and public-private partnerships really work well together to forge engagement and join in resource development. So with that said, the Heart Initiative, the Resource Center for Art that provides business classes to artists and art classes to the community, was really forged to help artists learn how to create avenues, and we become those facilitators. And if I can add to that, I'm really big into collaborating with other nonprofits to create a value mission in marketing. And by combining those forces, how many times have you seen auctions, live auctions, and they have art items in there, right? So I'm working with a couple of other nonprofits to help use art and my artist friends to create merchandise, to create new innovative art that helps spread their message to the community. And then the artwork sells, and then the artist makes money and the nonprofit makes money. That's one example. We also create pop-up opportunities in the community where, well, obviously through CDC regulations, we want to start doing pop-ups where we can sell the collective, the different various arts to get the message out of who they are and what they do and what they create. So there's a lot of other ways in the marketing world that you can get that message out. And we're here to develop those models and those business platforms to help launch their career.
So Allison, if an artist is watching and they would like to be part of your initiative, what's the process for that?
Well, they can email me, honor@heartinit.org, HONOR@HARTINIT.org. And we would love to start with the consulting process. And as you've all witnessed, we all were thrust into the new digital age of expansion and exploration. I feel like I'm, on the Star Trek Enterprise, this new frontier. But with COVID came innovation, and we've all embraced the digital age. And through this digital age of technology, we're actually able to do more and expand and explore and go to different markets outside of our community, which it brings me back to public relations and marketing being even more expansive through this new digital age. And Zoom is an excellent example of what we are embracing through Marjorie. It's so funny. I sound like Catalina, but the reputation matrix, you can teach this old dog new tricks all day long. And I am constantly taking classes. Nights and weekends, more classes, more books. And public relations as the reputation matrix helps lay out fundamental groundwork. So that is a part of our consulting plan for artists. And then some of the basics, I know everyone can't afford websites, but social media combination with simple websites and really maximizing your message and how to write your artist bio. And we actually come up with ways that we've put together as a Q&A. How do you define yourself as an artist? What's your artist bio? Show me your artwork and let me evaluate and our team evaluate and see what kind of niches can we help you define the unique function of your artwork, so then we can then story tell to get your message profiled out into the community. What awards have you gotten? What galleries are you in? What contests are you participating in? A lot of people, as Marjorie can attest, don't even realize they have probably tons of stories that they're not utilizing, and they just need a little bit of a guide. And that's where I believe the Heart Initiative can play a huge role in assisting artists in taking their passion and turning it into profit by creating new revenues and partnerships that help them explore those new ways to generate money for themselves. We'll also be having merchandising and a retail store to come. You can't build everything in a day. Marjorie's guidance and some of her tips and tricks. We are going to explore StreamYard as our new the Heart Studio, and so that's another way to showcase artists. So it's all about the art and fulfilling the mission and vision for those artists.
Gosh, Honor, I love the idea of StreamYard. I mean,
well, that's
well, no, I mean, it's just, it's a visual thing, and it's live, and it's you can take action, and gosh, you could even not only talk about the business of art, but actually do painting lessons and stuff.
Yeah, well, yes, right on. We are also through a lot of encouragement through SCORE Savannah and my mentor Tom, and lots of other conversations. Catalina. You guys have been talking to me for about 8 months now to really help define who and what we are and how we are to serve as a charity. We are a nonprofit, so it's not about me, the artist. It's about how I can serve the needs of the community. So I want to be able to build art programs, again, assisting the artist on helping them build courses and platforms and way that we can take their artwork through Zoom Art. I have an ad campaign coming out called Zoom with Heart and through art, and we will be offering those classes to our home schools, community schools, public schools through Zoom. And we do hope to be able to go out into the community once everything is okay. But this online platform has really given us a way to serve the needs of the community. So we hope to help the artists learn how to develop their own own course delivery systems. And we have started the Heart Academy to do that. So we are looking for artists who are interested in taking their passion and create courses and or mini art tutorials or demonstrations that we would like to share on a daily basis. So anyone who's demonstrating or has new unique tips and tricks that they want to share, we'll load it up to Heart every day, because we need content to get more engagement for our social media as well. I'm also inviting business owners like Marjorie to participate. I'd like to be conducting more interviews with the businesses of Savannah, which is where we're launching, to showcase Score Savannah, to showcase Marjorie's PR, why it's important, how to build a campaign successfully, how to work with Catalina and community schools to broaden their awareness as well. So these are the things that we're trying to bridge. And I think we are on a good path to do so with the leadership that we've collaborated with.
Gosh, nothing ventured, nothing gained. The time is now. It is totally now. I wanted to
sleep much in this household.
I found this quote online. Wait a second. What do you think about that?
Amen.
Isn't that great? I found that last April, and I thought, yeah, remember when we were absolutely confined to the house, and you couldn't go anywhere? What do we turn to? We turn to art. We turn to music.
Marjorie was teaching. Well, Allison knows, or I'm sorry, Honor knows Elena as well. I'm sorry, I know you as Allison.
No, I'll always be Allison. I became Honor 15, 20 years ago when my professors and friends started calling me Honor, and then Honor went on my artwork. So it just means that you've known me longer and you're more dear because I go by my second name.
My oldest enjoys painting and sketching and all sorts of different types of art. She's so
talented.
Sort of discovering her kind of what she likes. Like, she loves to paint, but then she gets mad when she paints because she's very, very detailed, meticulous, and if it blurs wrong, she like stresses out. So then she moved to sketching and drawing. My youngest is sort of following in her footsteps and has really gotten really into sort of more illustration at this point. And she's only 10, but Marjorie was teaching her over that period where we couldn't go anywhere. She would go out into the garage where she has her easel and her art stuff and come in. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm talking to Marjorie.
On Zoom. Oh gosh. Yeah.
That's awesome. Marjorie was teaching her abstract art and painting and different and giving her tasks. And she'd come in
with Monet. I had her copy of Monet.
And she'd come in with a canvas and be like, look what I did. And I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
I love the Jepson is also offering some courses, and I'm going to be taking a class from Kip Bradley, who does, I guess, contemporary impressionism. And so my class is coming up in March, but I tend to be too detailed, and my mission now is to be really bold in my brush strokes and just try and do a painting in under 40 brush strokes. So
it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It is a challenge, and it helps you let go.
Yep.
I mean, it's like art therapy. I was hoping Kenneth Martin, who does art therapy, could come on this morning.
I need to talk to him because we're offering art as therapy.
Oh my gosh, he teaches it to vets, and
that's what I'm looking for.
Kenneth, I don't know why. I think he was at a doctor's appointment this morning or something. But anyhow, yeah, he's also in the Jepson in the gallery called I Have Marks to Make, and Kenneth has been in a wheelchair since he was in his mid-20s, and he is a self-taught artist. Let me see if I can pull up one of his
artwork is fantastic.
Here's one of his paintings. Isn't that gorgeous? Self-taught artist. Yeah. And actually I commissioned some work from him. I first saw him when he had a show at Cutter's Point Coffee. Mm-hmm. And Haley, do you remember that show? I think that was before you.
That was before my time.
But he had a show up there. He had just moved from Chicago to Savannah, and I just it stopped me in my tracks. I just loved his work. And his wife at the age of 70, got her master's degree in art, and she does dolls. Look at those dolls.
Wow, those are beautiful.
Yeah. Aren't they wonderful? So I was hoping they could be on this morning talking about their journey. What's so fun about talking with Kenneth? I need to get a microphone on him. He has such amazing philosophy on art.
Well, we would like to have him on our show too, Marjorie.
Oh, absolutely. You need to. I mean, you just can't believe the type of insight and philosophy he has about art.
That's phenomenal. And we're looking for, well, not to get back to heart, but heart serves the community as the healing process of art as therapeutic. And so we're looking for those stories that really showcase how art can be transformational.
Well, Kenneth, definitely. Stephen?
Yeah, quick story. I totally agree about university art professors in that they make their living teaching art, and we're making a living selling art. And they're two very different universes. And in the early 80s, I entered a contest and my painting didn't get in. I went to the jurors' comments, and the juror was a university art professor and actually quite a good painter. And when he showed my painting, he said, this is really good. It's almost too good. It looks like something you find in a Holiday Inn. So I raised my hand and I said, well, if you've got the connection, I'd love to make the sale. Fast forward a few years, this same painting was published by the New York Graphic Society and was a prize on the Wheel of Fortune 17 times. So 42 million viewers saw my painting that didn't get in the local show. And that's the story of me and competitions and galleries and all that.
Wow. What a great ending to that, though. That's awesome, Stephen. I didn't realize that.
This beautiful lithograph under glass, appropriately titled Zinnias in Yellow Vase, will brighten any room. And Vanna gave me the thing, and
No way. That's so cool. That is really cool.
And one more show-off moment. Have you all seen that?
Oh, wait.
Oh, yes.
Hold on. Let me make that big.
Oh, I love
That.
How do you order those, Stephen?
Online.
Online. How? Where do you go?
StephenRayMiller.com. Go to the gift shop and bumper stickers, and they're $2.50 a piece. I sold a lot of Georgia stickers, a whole lot.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So you also have a framing shop too, don't you? Is that right?
I do. Yeah. Thank goodness, because that's been the most steady source of income over the last 20 years. Yes, I have a picture frame shop, and I was recently voted Durham's best art gallery.
You were. I saw that.
Yep.
Congratulations. That's
Friends
wonderful.
on Facebook.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Let's all get connected. Make sure we're all on Facebook and Instagram and even LinkedIn, actually, because
I use LinkedIn a lot.
Do you have with art?
Well, I do with art, but more for, as Catalina knows, given the fact that she's gotten these great sponsors to partner with you guys, that's where I get the corporate sponsors to buy into the value of what we're doing. So LinkedIn is my huge battleground of networking.
Wow, that's another great tip. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, let's all get connected. Hey, good morning, Bunny Ware. How are you? Good morning. All right, guys, we're coming up, and I know, Haley, you got to get to work. So,
So much fun.
I want to thank everybody for hanging around the water cooler with us this morning, talking about this business of art. And it is, please reach out with each other and check out Honor's new website. This is going to be a website that really can help artists become a business and make money. So congratulations to all of you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. See you next time.
Thanks
Bye,
so
guys.
much.
Thank you,
Have a great
Marjorie.
day. All right.